Right, let's start that feature that we have for this half hour looking at Uganda post their election that took place last week. And of course, we now see President Yoweri Museveni enjoying and starting a seventh term. Well, Ugandan politician and close ally of opposition leader Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, commonly known as Bobi Wine, has been arrested. Muwanga Kivumbi, deputy leader of Wine's National Unity Platform, NUP, is accused of organising attacks on a police station and a voting tallying centre after the electoral loss. President Yoweri Museveni was announced the winner of the recent elections, securing a seventh term in office with over 71% of the vote. Now, the opposition in the country has dismissed the vote result, leading to widespread public protests. We're now joined by Robert Kigongo, who's a Ugandan political analyst, social commentator, and writer for leading dailies in Uganda. Thank you so much indeed for joining us, and welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Peter, and all the listeners. I'm exceedingly humbled to be hosted by Channel Africa.
So, Robert, what would you say is the dominant mood across Uganda at the moment? One would imagine for many there's a bit of anger, fear, maybe even exhaustion, maybe determination. What sense do you get about what people are feeling and are most worried about at this time?
Peter, on 15th January, Uganda went to the polls, and the people of Uganda voted for their respective presidents. As you all know, the Electoral Commission of Uganda declared Yoweri Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, and immediately we had eruptions and tensions across all major cities of Uganda, partly because the first runner-up declared by the Electoral Commission, Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, regarded the results as fake and fabricated, that they did not reflect the will of the people of Uganda. And there are quite so many Ugandans that voted for him that resonate with his point of view. So they chose to demand for their win. But partly was also the parliamentary seats. The ruling party, the NRM, wanted to take majority of the seats by force without declaring the truly elected legislators. So these legislators were preconditioned to actually mobilize their supporters across the various constituencies to cause some sort of tension so that they could be declared. And whoever did that was declared. One of them was Honorable Joel Senyonyi. The people of Nakawa West demonstrated. That's how it was announced. The people of Machinde West demonstrated. That's how Zahara Ruyurika, an NUP candidate, was declared winner. Those who did not, they were not declared as winners. So that was part of the build-up that led to this kind of atmosphere. And as we talk now, the situation is tense. There is a lot of heavy deployment all over major cities. There is a lot of secret police and secret spies scattered all over major towns, bars, restaurants, just to get feedback of what is likely to happen. And this has also prompted the ruling party to arrest, through the CDF, to arrest the major coordinators and administrators of the National Unity Platform. One of them is Muwanga Kivumbi, that is in spotlight, but we have John Mary Sebofu, one of the overall coordinator of the NUP. He has been arrested. Abibu Wembo was arrested. This is the chief mobilizer of that party. He was arrested before, on the eve of the event. The Western Regional Coordinator for NUP was also arrested. The Northern Coordinator for NUP, Dr. Lina Zedriga, was equally arrested. And they are trying to siege these voices of dissent, but also it's part and parcel of trying to control any possible uprising in Uganda. So the situation is very tense. People have not yet returned back to work for fear of what may happen. Others have decided to stay up country. So, dear South Africans, this is what Uganda is going through and the rest of Africa.
So you've mentioned quite a bit there, arrests of key figures like Muwanga Kivumbi, and also the threats that were issued by President Museveni's son, who's also the head of the army, literally wishing death upon the NUP leader. So the security forces, the authorities on the one hand are saying these arrests are all about preserving security in the country. The opposition is saying that this is political repression. How are Ugandans interpreting both of these narratives?
One, I always want to remind the rest of Africa, Ugandans are peasants. Majority of the population are peasants. Peasants normally submit to the strong man. So what the regime knows is that once they try to target Bobi Wine specifically, they know other key players, the vocal voices will go mute. And this is the case. We have other competitors like Mugisha Muntu, who was a former CDF, who was also contesting in this election. He is mute. We have Nandala Mafab. They have all gone mute. It's only one courageous candidate, Robert Kyagulanyi, that has actually taken on the mantle to actually petition the presidential results. But the target towards Bobi Wine is to silence him and also to make sure that he does not go to court to challenge the election results. That's why he's in hiding. That's why his home is under 24 surveillance with heavily armed security spies all over his place. And that's why he ended up in hiding. God knows where he is, but that is to prevent him. This will go up to May until the president swears in, Yoweri Museveni swears in, taking his style to 45 years in power. So knowing that Bobi Wine is the focal point of dissenting voices, so they are neutralizing that focal point, that nothing happens. But Ugandans, being peasants, have surrendered to the strong man, and they have honestly given up. They have left him to God. It's only God who knows.
So, there are fears for Kyagulanyi, Bobi Wine's life. And if we consider what's happened to Kizza Besigye over decades, is the same fate waiting for Kyagulanyi if the authorities get hold of him?
He has two options. One is to go to exile, the way Dr. Kizza Besigye went to exile, actually in South Africa, where he was. He escaped through Rwanda, Restina Gomez. Kyagulanyi has the same option. The other option, considering his type of politics, the Mahatma Gandhi politics, the non-violence style of politics, which may not apply in military states, is to cause civil disobedience, to lead civil disobedience, and maybe try to force a regime change through other means, which is literally next to impossible. So his option right now is to actually escape into exile and wait for the situation, for the dust to settle. That's the option he has now, because Ugandans are waiting for his voice. He has told them what they're supposed to do. It's upon them. It's supposed to be organic. Anything to do with the non-civil disobedience of Mahatma Gandhi or Martin Luther style has to come from the citizens. The citizens
about citizens, I mean, we've seen youth-led political movements gain momentum across several countries. Are Ugandans prepared to do the same, or is the fear of the heavy hand of the authorities too much?
What is happening in Uganda is actually, we are under a dark triad. In a dark triad, you use all tools available to you. The regime has money. It has injected a lot of money, $1 million, into these vulnerable communities, the ghetto structures that made up Bobi Wine. So they have all been compromised. The MPs, the key political players, have been compromised to the Museveni regime, who would be mobilizing the communities. Then you have fear. When you have heavy deployment of security monitoring areas day by day, night by night, hour by hour, it's very hard for citizens to rise up. They are mugged, their voices are muzzled. You can't have any serious consequential action from that kind of citizenry. There is also a lot of cyber stalking. The internet is very, very unstable. So the WhatsApp is not functioning well. Same applies to other. Recently, mobile money was switched off for fear. There was an allegation that the Kyagulanyi faction will be distributing money to demonstrators. And also this comes back to the previous election, campaign messages. The president said, it was Bobi Wine that said it first, that Ugandans are more than the security forces, meaning if there is any uprising, they can outnumber the security forces. That led to the response from the CDF and the commander-in-chief, Yoweri Museveni, that a gun has 120 bullets, meaning 120 bullets can take 120 citizens down. So that arithmetic that we went into is also contributing to this situation, calculating the bullets in the gun, calculating the possible number of Ugandans that could go to the streets. So all that is the background that led us here.
All right. Robert, unfortunately, we've run out of time. We're going to have to leave it there. But your analysis, really appreciated on the program. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Peter.
That was Robert Kigongo, who's a sustainable development analyst, a social commentator, political analyst, author, and writer for leading dailies in Uganda, giving us his take on the situation in Uganda right now.